Don't worry about your bike. We're too concerned with you.
All right. Please.
Yeah, this one's all right. The other one's inside.
Like to tell me what happened?
She's the one you should be talking to in there. Just walked out, straight in front of me, didn't even look. Ask anyone. I didn't have a chance.
OK, mate, thanks. You all right, love?
Nothing broken. Slight shock. I'd like to take her in, really, just to be on the safe side.
He's right. Let him give you a proper checkup, mate.
No, I'm all right, honest.
Well, I don't mind taking you, do you?
Make our day, wouldn't it?
No, I've got to get home. I've said it was my fault, given my address and everything.
I'm supposed to be racing this at the weekend. Now look at it.
Could have been worse, couldn't it? Might have been you lying there.
I'd be cheaper to fixing the bike.
Well, she won't go to hospital. We're getting her to sign an indemnity form now. Look, don't worry, mate. We'll sort her out. She only lives round the corner.
Right, you are.
All I'm asking for, Mr. Milner, is a proper description of the missing vehicle.
Don't tell me you've never seen one.
Well, let's assume I haven't.
Of course you have. Bright yellow, weighs about 7 tons with a shovel at the front and a bucket at the back. Or a bucket at the front and a shovel at the back. Depends which way you're standing, really.
Let's start with the registration number, shall we?
Mrs. Gillespie. DS Craig, WPC Croft, Sunhill.
Oh, that's lovely. Come in. The one in the uniform said it might be a couple of days.
Well, I can't go any lower than 2,750. That's the bottom line, right?
Is it a problem? No, no,
well,
go through.
No, honestly. Yeah, well, I've only made my position clear. OK, fine. Who is it, Mo?
It's the police.
Oh, I thought I said to cancel it, love. Save you the trouble.
It's no trouble, Mr. Gillespie.
Nothing stolen, you see. Anything worth any money is already gone.
Why were you in such a rush anyway?
I had to sign on. They go mad if you're late. It's this one.
Do you want me to see you in?
No. No. I'll be all right. Ta.
Couldn't wait to get indoors, could she?
All they've done is broke a window. Had a poke around. Probably kids.
Well, you'd be surprised how much people discover they've lost a week or so after the burglary.
They did take something. He won't tell you. Anyone would think he was made of money.
What was that?
His briefcase.
Oh, forget about the briefcase, Mo. I'll get another one.
He never did like it.
Look, why don't you show me where they got in? And perhaps you could tell my colleague something about the briefcase?
He's under a lot of pressure at the minute. He doesn't want to make a fuss.
Right, well, this is where they broke in.
Uh-huh. Where was the case?
The case? Oh, upstairs in the bedroom, I think.
Anything in it?
Never used it, did I? People want to see with your sleeves rolled up in this game, not pouncing around with a briefcase.
It's not the case I'm bothered about.
But you are worried about the threats.
If he thinks I've said anything to you, he'll go mad.
Tell me what happened.
Well, banging on the door, shouting in the street, "I'll kill you, Gillespie," effing and blinding. I told him he'd have to sort it out with the receivers. We haven't got two halfpennies to rub together.
And this was Mr.
Milner. I told him he'd have to join the queue.
What was your husband's involvement with Mr. Milner?
Him and John Riley, that was Ian's partner, used to hire a lot of stuff from Milner. Compressors, mixers, that sort of thing. He's got a yard somewhere. I couldn't stick him personally. Don't say nothing.
Right, thanks, Mrs. Gillespie. Your husband's given me all the details.
It's ready when you are, Sarge.
OK, we'll be in touch then.
Cost me over £100, that case. He's never once used it.
Made me look like a bank manager.
OK, thanks then.
Bye.
Most people would have had a list ready.
For the insurance, you mean?
Especially in their position. All he loses is an empty briefcase.
Did he tell you they've had threats? Creditors demanding cash, that sort of thing?
Anyone in particular?
Well, the most persistent was a chap called Milner. Came round threatening to kill Gillespie if he didn't pay up.
Would that be Michael Milner?
Plant hire.
That's the one.
Sierra Oscar 85 from Sierra Oscar.
Go ahead.
Disturbance number 20, Regis House, Ridley Estate.
Received, Reg. That's near Kirby's flat, isn't it?
Yeah.
Quiet! That was very quick. I'm very impressed.
I'm not with you, Mr. Milner.
Finding my digger. And it's Mickey.
This is DS Greg. I'm WPC Croft, Sunhill. And I'll stick to Mr. if you don't mind.
You can call me what you like, darling, as long as it's not late for dinner. I only reported it this morning.
I'm afraid this is about something else.
Oh, no.
We wanted to talk to you about Mr. Gillespie.
Mr. Gillespie, the master builder.
Have you seen him recently?
Dear, oh dear. He hasn't started crying already, has he?
Why would that be?
His company owes me a considerable amount of money.
And you've been trying to collect?
I asked him politely.
In your usual diplomatic manner, of course.
You know me, Mr. Gregg.
And then you threatened his wife?
Is that what you said? I'm afraid poor old Maureen's a bit overwrought at the minute.
You did a lot of business with Gillespie.
No, peanuts. Couldn't buy the cat a canary out of what I made on the firm.
You don't know anything about a break-in at Mr. Gillespie's.
Behave yourself, Mr. Gregg. What could he and Gillespie possibly have that I'd want?
Several £1,000s by all accounts.
You find a queue right down to Southend wanting money off Gillespie's outfit.
Tell me about Gillespie's partner.
Riley, I do feel sorry for.
Why's that?
Silly boy. Wouldn't be told, would he? Remortgaged his house and ended up in a bed and breakfast with his wife and a 6-month-old baby. At least Gillespie's still got a roof over his head. And now...
next door. And some bloke in a leather suit laying down the law.
Leather suit?
Let's take a look.
Banging on the door, shouting something about money. And I'll do this, and I'll do that.
I think you'd better let us in now, May, don't you?
You've got your hands full.
Are they all yours? No. I'm looking after them for a friend, just for a couple of hours.
So who was your visitor then?
He said I'd have to go to court if I didn't give him the money.
Who are we talking about?
The bloke on the motorbike, the one that ran into me. He said I'd admitted it was my fault. We've got witnesses.
Did he hurt you?
He says he knows people who'll sort me out. He made me sign a piece of paper.
What piece of paper?
I owe you.
How much for?
£1,000.
Do what?
I ain't got that sort of money. Where do you think I'm going to get £1,000?
All right. Look, take it easy. Now, the first thing is you don't have to give him anything.
But it was my fault, wasn't it? I told him it was.
It doesn't matter whose fault it was. You're a pedestrian. If he wants to claim off you, he'll have to take a civil action.
So I might have to go to court.
The court's not going to look very favourably on somebody who goes around threatening women, are they, eh?
Anyway, he can claim it off his own insurance. He's fully comp.
Come on. Let's get a proper statement, eh?
That too.
Well done. John Riley?
Who's asking?
Yes, Greg, WPC Croft Sun Hill. Can we come in?
Yeah.
Police. It's about your partner, Mr. Gillespie.
Ex-partner.
What, did Gillespie send you round here?
Nobody sent us. Mrs. Riley, is it?
He won't be satisfied till he sees us on the streets.
We're making inquiries about a burglary at the Gillespies.
How does this compare with the Gillespie's place, then? She's still got a free piece, has she? We didn't think this sort of thing could happen to people like us.
That'll do, Anne. She blames him for us losing everything.
Because he is to blame, that's why. We remortgaged our house for that firm and he took us for every penny we had.
What about you? Do you blame him?
It's the way it goes. Things have been bad for a lot of people. We'll pull through.
You're leaving?
Got a flat. Nothing great. First rung on the ladder.
So, things are improving, aren't they?
I won a few quid on the horses. Got enough for a deposit.
John.
Very nice.
What?
Look, we don't know anything about a burglary or money or whatever Gillespie's had nicked.
Actually, the Gillespies didn't have any money stolen.
All they did lose was, a briefcase.
The black leather one.
Mind if I have a look?
That's our case. That's something to do with Gillespie.
Yeah, well, you don't mind if I look inside, do you? You must have got very good odds on that horse.
We'll have a word with him, all right?
So you can stop worrying, he won't be coming back.
Oh, is something wrong?
No, nothing the matter at all.
Are they ready? I'm just getting their coats.
I'll settle up with you now, May, shall I? Kids, eh? Of course, I don't like having to leave them, but you know what it's like. All got to earn something nowadays, haven't we?
Hello, Mummy.
£30, isn't it?
I think so.
Thanks a lot. Look, I'll see you tomorrow. Say bye-bye now.
Ta-ta. See ya.
Come on, darling.
I just do her a favour sometimes.
For cash?
What about the other two?
I just help out sometimes.
Regularly?
Now and again.
May, are you a registered childminder?
It's just a favour now and again.
You know you're supposed to be registered.
Going to, when I get sorted out.
What time do the children usually arrive?
About 8. Sometimes half past.
And what time did they arrive this morning, May?
May, your accident was 9 o'clock this morning, wasn't it?
I was only going to be out for a minute. I had to get my benefit. The door was shut, wasn't it? I mean, they were all right.
So you left them on their own?
You know we're going to have to report you, don't you?
I know what I'm doing, just because I ain't got a bit of paper.
You're supposed to be qualified.
Loads of people do it.
You're earning money and claiming benefit.
Oh, come on, that's not fair. First I get knocked over, now you're going to do me for babysitting.
Excuse me? Oi! Do we have to have all this in it?
Well, where else am I going to put it?
Well, couldn't you have waited for him at home?
No, I'm afraid we had to be out of our home by 12 o'clock. They'd have put someone else in there by now.
You can't just sit there, not with a baby and everything. We haven't got the facilities.
Oh, don't worry. We're getting used to that.
But I was the one that got hurt. Now I'm going to get done for it all because of you interfering.
When the DSS call round, just tell them the truth.
And what about him, the bloke with the bike? He gets off scot-free, I suppose.
Well, I think we'll pay Mr. King a visit, don't you, Polly? Tell him his fortune. Come on.
I'm showing Mr. Riley a black leather executive briefcase with the initials IG in gold. Can you tell me how you came by this case, Mr. Riley?
All right, I put my hands up.
You admit taking the case from the home of Mr. and Mrs. Gillespie?
The money's mine.
Yeah, let's concentrate on the case for the minute. You admit taking it?
Yeah.
Good. When did you take it?
Yesterday.
How?
You know how I broke in, didn't I?
Okay. Right, the money. I'm opening the case and showing the contents. £5,000 in notes of mixed denominations. Now, you didn't win this on the horses, did you?
No.
So why say you did?
We're supposed to be skint, right? I've got a wife and a kid out there and I owe a lot of people a lot of money. If the bank found out I had a few quid in my pocket, we'd be back in a bed and breakfast.
So where did the money come from?
Why should I be the one who loses everything, eh?
I'm not with you. You admit the case belongs to Mr. Gillespie. What about the money?
Well, I wouldn't have pinched an empty case, would I?
So you're saying the money was in the case when you took it from Mr. Gillespie?
What was I supposed to do? Sit in that stinking dump all day and watch his missus spend it on cushion covers and matching serviettes, eh?
The money, John.
How many more times? I took the money in the case from Gillespie, right?
Right. OK, let's leave it there for the minute. Interview terminated at 12:25. Suzi. Call Mr. Gillespie, would you, and ask him to come down to the station.
Right.
Oh, and Suzi, don't say anything about the money.
Sierra Oscar 2 from Sierra Oscar receiving.
Go ahead, Sarge.
Laurel Road, damage only.
Receive, Sarge, on way.
How much longer is it going to be?
Look, Mrs. Riley, we're
I've got the baby here. She's...
Surely you didn't have to drag us all the way down here, did you?
Yeah, I appreciate you coming down.
That's him. That's the one you want to arrest.
Anne? Hey, Sam, what are you doing here?
What does it look like? We've got nowhere to live.
Look, if you'd just like to come through here, it won't take long. Thanks. 1 minute, Mrs. Riley.
What's Anne Riley doing here? Ian, what's going on?
There's a lot of fuss about one briefcase, isn't it?
Mr. Gillespie, Mrs. Gillespie, thanks for coming in.
That's it? That's your case?
Take a close look at it.
Well, that's the one, isn't it?
I don't know, do I? They all look the same to me.
You'd think you'd be grateful, wouldn't you?
You're sure that this is your briefcase?
Of course it is. I had his initials put on it, look.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Gillespie?
Yeah, could be.
Yes or no?
Yeah, all right. It looks like my case.
You silly fool.
Perhaps we could have a word in private, Mr. Gillespie.
Oh, no, you don't. I think I better come.
Mo! I have got a tongue in my head, love.
You can wait in the front office, Mrs. Gillespie.
Oh dear.
Sierra Oscar from Sierra Oscar 2.
Go ahead, Gary.
About that accident, Reg. It's an excavator. I think we've just struck gold. Anyone hurt?
Not so far.
What happened?
It's knackered. That's what happened.
Can't you shift it out of the way?
I'm not touching it. Hydraulics are gone.
Are you the owner, sir?
Only bought it yesterday. It's a death trap.
And I'm telling you, I don't know where the money come from, all right?
You get bar gold and you lose an empty briefcase. Then the briefcase turns up and it's full of money.
Riley admitted nicking it. You told me that.
Doesn't it strike you as a bit peculiar?
No, it doesn't. Why don't you ask him where it come from?
I have. Mr. Riley says that the money was in the case when he took it.
Well, then he's living in dreamland, isn't he?
He says you owed him it.
Look, would I be flogging a telly if I had £5,000 upstairs?
Who said anything about £5,000, Mr. Gillespie?
Didn't you check it before you bought it?
Of course I did. But this job has a penalty clause. If I don't finish by Friday, I end up owing them. I had to have a digger.
Sierra Oscar 2 from Sierra Oscar.
Go ahead, Sierra Oscar.
It sounds like the same one, Gary. They've obviously changed the licence plates, but the engine number's the same. Registered keeper is a Michael Milner.
Thanks, Reg. Out.
Well?
I'm afraid it's the same one we're looking for. Reported stolen this morning.
I bought it all above board. I had the papers and everything.
Where did you buy it?
Fella was selling up bankrupt stock.
So either Gillespie didn't want anyone to know he had the money, including his wife.
Or Riley got it somewhere else.
So why say he got it from Gillespie?
Maybe Riley's trying to stitch him up. He's got the motive.
We're not talking about Smiley's people here, are we? We're talking about a couple of glorified hod carriers with a cash flow problem. What about Mickey Milner?
It was Milner put us onto Riley.
Anything that Milner does deserves a second look. Have another go at him. Oh, and Alistair, don't let him tap dance around the yard.
Alistair, have you got Mr. Gillespie in?
Yeah, why?
Well, Loxon and McCann have found that excavator that went missing this morning.
Milner's?
Yeah, and the first time it was used, the hydraulics packed in and dropped the bucket on top of some poor so-and-so's car, and the excavator was bought from a Mr. Ian Gillespie.
Cheers, Bob. Let's go and see what he's got to say for himself now. Right, Mr. Gillespie. Michael Milner. Any little bells tinkling in the distance?
Yeah. Plant hire. We used him if we had a big job on.
Mr. Milner was in here this morning to report a theft from his yard. A 7-ton excavator. He's a lucky man.
Really?
I've just heard it's been found. Odd thing is that the new owner says he only bought it yesterday from a Mr. Gillespie. Now, why don't you save us all a lot of time and tell us what's going on?
Well, all right. Riley and me, we did sell it after Milner gave it to us.
Oh, come on. 1 minute Milner's threatened to chop your legs off, and the next he's giving excavators away.
It was clapped out, wasn't it? I mean, he knew we couldn't afford to pay him back what we owed him, so he made us an offer.
Which you couldn't refuse.
We weren't in a position to refuse, were we? Look, he wanted shot of it. So we took it off his hands and flogged it for £5,000. 3 to pay off Milner and £1,000 apiece for me and Riley.
And this was a totally innocent arrangement, was it?
That's right.
So why change the licence plates?
Well, they were just some I had hanging about the place. Thought it'd just be temporary. I wanted it to look street legal, you know.
Of course you did. So if all this was so spotless, why did Milner walk in here this morning and report it missing?
Oh, ask yourself. It's greed, isn't it? I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if he's setting up a nice little insurance claim for himself.
And what about Riley? What's he doing pinching briefcases?
Riley got impatient, because I couldn't pay him straight away.
You thought you could stitch him up? Keep your share and his?
It was me that got the deal, wasn't it?
Without telling Riley?
I was the one taking all the risks. I mean, if Riley had been a real mate, he would have just had taken his 1,000 when he broke in, wouldn't he?
Afternoon. We're looking for a Mr. King.
Yes.
It's about the accident that happened this morning.
You lot weren't much help, were you?
Is he in?
Well, he couldn't go to work after that, could he? Could we have a word with him? You know how much that bike cost him?
Through here, is it, Mrs. King?
It's not paid for yet, you know. I hope you're going to charge that woman with something, walking in the road like that.
Nice one. You've sorted it all out then?
Sorry? But just wait there, will you?
Now I've had a word with her. You know, she's owned up. Everything's cut and dried. I owe you, see? Got her over a barrel.
Did you force Mrs. Kirby to sign this piece of paper?
No, she admitted it was her fault, and now she's going to pay. I don't see what the problem is.
Did you lead her to believe that she might be taken to court if she didn't?
You weren't interested, were you? She was in the wrong, you know that. I didn't have a chance.
You threatened to send someone round, have her beaten up.
Look, I'm the injured party.
You were going to have her sorted out.
I wasn't serious, was I?
Well, she thought you were.
Christopher King, I'm arresting you for demanding money with menaces. You don't have to say anything unless you wish to do so, but what you do say may be given in evidence.
I don't believe it. It was all her fault. She's the one who should be arrested, not me. Why don't you go and arrest her?
Milner's the one you want to talk to, not me. Get Milner down here now.
Just calm down, will you?
Is that you, Gillespie? You slag!
What's your problem?
Well, what would you have done, eh? Spend the rest of your life in that dump with a wife and kid?
Just bear with us, Mr. Riley.
Right, come here!
Why on earth would I ask someone to sell an excavator for me?
Do you pretend it was stolen and claim on the insurance?
That's against the law.
You dropped them in it, didn't you, Mickey?
I'm staggered, I really am.
You got greedy.
Who are these two geniuses?
Your old pals, Gillespie and Riley.
Gillespie and Riley. Sound like a double act.
Not a very successful one.
I have to say, Mr. Gregg, I'd like the two of them prosecuted. Can't have dangerous tea leaves like that running round now, can we?
So you didn't dream up this little scam then?
I think you should use the full severity of the law on them.
Defrauding an insurance company is a serious offence, Mickey.
Why on earth would I want to get mixed up with that sort of nonsense?
You're prepared to see them go down for something you organised?
Losers, Mr. Gregg. Imagine you're on the bench and I'm up in front of you along with Riley and Gillespie. Who are you going to believe?
Thanks, Mr. Milner. We'll be in touch.
You want to get those two villains locked up straight away, Mr. Gregg? You never know what they'll be up to next, do you?
You got a minute to talk about my two, Ray?
Yeah, sure, the office.
Yeah.
Gillespie. I'm bailing him.
Fine, what about Riley?
Riley, I'm not so sure.
What's the problem?
No fixed abode.
Ah.
Yeah, if he's got no home to go to, chances are he's going to do a runner.
Do you think he might abscond, Sarge?
It's possible. No bail for Riley, then?
Yeah. I mean, what's he got to lose? No home, no job. He's up for burglary and TDA. Riley's staying here.
Look, his wife's in the front office with the baby. Who's going to tell her?
Why won't you let me see him?
I think he's still being interviewed, Mrs. Riley. I'm sure DS Gregg will sort it all out for you.
Yeah, I'll be with you in a minute, Mrs. Riley. He'll be through now, Mrs. Gillespie. You can meet him at the front.
Thank goodness for that.
What about John? You're keeping him in, aren't you?
Yeah, let me just explain what's happening.
And you're letting Gillespie out? Why? Why?
It's a bit complicated, Mrs. Riley.
No, it's simple. I've got a baby to look after and nowhere to sleep tonight, and you've got my husband locked up. I can't go anywhere without him. What's complicated about...
Did you say this man called to see you yesterday evening?
Yes.
What time?
About 6:30. I'd arranged for him to call at 6, but he didn't turn up until 5:30. Do sit down.
Thank you.
I just got back from work and I was in a rush.
And you say this man sexually assaulted you?
Yes.
And would you mind telling us why you didn't report it till this morning?
Didn't seem such an event at the time.
How do you mean?
He was just trying it on, that's all.
But he did actually touch you?
Well, yes. If you live alone and you get a man in to do a job of work, it can sometimes happen. You must know that. Anyhow, as I've already explained, I was in a rush. I was getting ready to go out to dinner. It was only later when I told my friend what had happened that he suggested that I rang the police. My friend is like that. He's the kind of man who worries. His feeling is, okay, nothing bad happened to you, but something bad could happen to the next poor woman.
Well, your friend is right.
Miss Purdue, you say this man was an electrician?
Yes.
What was his name?
I've no idea.
Well, how did you contact him?
I didn't. He contacted me.
Have you filled in a MISPA form? Fine. Could you fax that over to us? Thanks. Sarge, one of the inpatients at Lee's Hall has gone missing. A Raymond Patrick Paul, classified as a Section 65 patient. IC1, age 37, slim build, dark hair. Failed to report back to the hospital the night before last.
Right, what was he wearing when he was last seen?
Beige shirt and blue overalls.
Thanks, Polly. Just a minute. That assault that June was checking on Regis Crescent, what was the description that woman gave? Yeah, well, I've run a PNC check on this fella, and I called the hospital, and they confirmed it is the same Raymond Paul. He was sent to a hospital for the criminally insane 15 years ago for attacks on women.
You know, I seem to remember reading something about this when it happened.
Yeah, so do I. It was on the front page of all the nationals.
Yeah, and if I remember rightly, the judge, when sentencing, said that he should be locked up
until old age or loss of mental faculties meant he was no longer a danger to society. In other words, throw away the key.
That's right. And now he's missing on our grounds.
Yeah.
So both the MO and description match the complaint about this woman this morning?
Yes, sir.
So why the hell didn't Leash Hall let us know about this earlier?
Well, they were relying on Paul turning up. Apparently he's on some kind of 3-stage rehabilitation scheme.
For what?
Well, you know, trying to reintroduce him into society. I suppose that's why he's allowed to come and go to some extent.
I don't believe it.
Yeah, and he's being allowed to get himself a career as well. You know, do a trade.
All right, I'll get Danny to go to the hospital and tidy this up. Oh, this character Poole, what trade did he learn?
He did his city and guilds. He became an electrician.
That wall socket blew ages ago. We just never got round to having it fixed. Until yesterday.
So where did the assault take place? In this room?
No, and when you say the word assault, it makes it sound worse than it was. As if he tried to get inside my knickers. Anyhow, I'm pretty good at talking my way out of tricky situations. I work in PR. It happened in here. I came in to get my bag to pay him. He followed me in.
And how did you pay him?
He insisted on cash. When I gave him the money, he asked if there was anything extra going. I thought he meant a tip. It was then he brushed against me, touched my breasts.
He seized you?
No, he just pushed against me.
But he touched your breasts with his hands?
Yes. It all happened quickly, very briefly.
Did he threaten you in any way?
No.
You gave a description of this man when you phoned this morning. You said he was wearing blue overalls.
That's right. And he was carrying one of those old-fashioned tool bags made out of sacking.
Where's the meter cupboard?
It's in the hallway. Oh, and he was wearing rubber gloves.
Rubber gloves?
Yes, all the time. Never took them off. He was wearing them when he came to the door. Thin rubber gloves, white, sort that surgeons wear. In fact, I asked him why he was wearing them, and he told me he'd been electrocuted once. He said that now, with God's help, he was always careful.
With God's help?
Yes. The short time he was here, he spoke a lot about God. A girlfriend of mine told me about an electrician who was good and who was cheap. She said you had to ring a number and leave a message. I assumed it was part of some government retraining scheme.
And did he ring him?
Yes, some time ago. And I left a message. There was no response, so I forgot about it.
Have you still got the number?
Yes, somewhere. Then this man rang early yesterday morning. He said that the old electrician was no longer available and that he'd taken his place. He then asked if I had any jobs that needed doing, and I said yes.
So you gave him your address and arranged for him to call yesterday evening?
That's right.
Did he by any chance give you an alternative number or tell you where his place of work was?
No. Look, perhaps we should forget this. Is it really that important?
Yes, it is.
Oh, I'm late. I mean, we all get touched up from time to time, don't we? On the tube, in lifts. We're lucky.
Have you two had refreshments yet?
No, sir. No, we'll just come in.
Good, I want a briefing. See you in the canteen in 15 minutes.
The consultant psychiatrist is at a case conference at the moment. If you want to talk to him later, he'll give you a full medical background.
Right.
No luck with Raymond, then?
No.
I didn't think he'd be stupid enough to stay out. This is his bed space.
Did he pack a bag?
No, I checked his locker.
The only thing he took was his tool bag.
Any idea where he might have gone?
No. He attended both group meetings that morning. Then he had a job to do at one of the local shops in the afternoon. Fixing some light sockets, he said. But that wouldn't have taken long.
Well, is there anyone he might have stayed with?
He's not allowed to stay out unattended. Apart from which, he doesn't really know anyone. Only us. This is his home.
Yeah, he goes out.
That's right.
And you don't think he should be supervised?
No, because there's a basic problem when you want to balance supervision and rehabilitation. How can a patient mix normally if everybody knows about his past?
Yeah. And you've had no complaints while he's been out in the community?
No. And on the basis of that, we assume that he's getting on and fitting in all right.
Yeah. Until now. So, who was the last person to see him?
Barry Fairweather.
Now, who's he?
A jobbing gardener. Cuts the grass here. He and Raymond often have a chat.
Oh, and is he here today?
No, he only comes to us a couple of days a week. You may find him doing the school grounds or up at St. Olaf's.
All right. What about money? Does Paul have any?
Just a small allowance. What he earns, we keep from him. And he's got a loan to pay back. The hospital paid for his tools. If his business picks up, we're hoping he can open his own bank account. It's a step in the right direction.
Yeah, well, he may have blown that.
Well, I hope not. If he gets into mischief, he'll be letting us all down.
Raymond Poole is a Section 65 patient with special restrictions. These restrictions include no unauthorised absence from Lees Hall. Although he was brought up in the Sunhill area, Poole has no relatives and, I would think, very few friends.
Don't win by this, sir. I'm not surprised.
The man's been institutionalised for most of his life, from orphanages upwards. His conviction 15 years ago was for serious sexual attacks on women. At his trial, he was found unfit to give evidence on his own behalf.
Oh, great. That's all we need, a mental job.
And his MO, sir?
At the time, he specialised in gaining access to his victims' homes, mainly by invitation. It was then that the attacks took place. But I would like to stress that since his conviction, Poole is supposed to have made good progress, thanks to hospital treatment. However, following a complaint that June and Sergeant Steele dealt with this morning, it's possible that Raymond Poole is not only on the loose, but up to his old tricks once more.
So what you're saying is, sir, he's come unglued again?
We won't know that until we find him, will we, Steve? So, find him.
What's the idea of taking the case off you, then?
Yeah, it rang too many bells for them. I reckon the woman was lucky, very lucky.
You know, I read somewhere that a lot of sex maniacs are the way they are because they can't get it on.
Yeah? So what's your excuse, then?
Mr. Fairweather, I'm Detective Sergeant Pearce from Sandhill Police.
Yeah?
I was making some inquiries at Lees Hall Hospital and I was told you might be able to help. It's about one of their patients, Raymond Poole.
Raymond? What's he been up to?
Well, he's gone missing and I believe he talks to you from time to time.
If you can call it talking.
How do you mean?
Well, I never really listen, do I? I got work to do. He just follows me about talking.
Talking? About what?
Flowers and trees and that. Plants, growing things, just about everything and anything on God's earth. He just never leaves me alone.
The hospital says you were the last person to talk to him.
Yeah.
About plants and trees.
Well, amongst other things.
What other things?
He was talking about going away. Only I didn't take too much notice.
Going away? When?
He didn't say when. Just one of these days, he said. He said he was going away one of these days.
And did he say where?
Yeah. To the sea. Hope he's not thinking of drowning himself.
You think he might do that?
I don't know, do I? Ask the doctors. I've got the feeling he's scared.
Scared? Of what?
Being outside, in the big bad world. He says he's due for release one day soon, but I don't reckon he wants that. He's been banged up too long. You don't mind, do you? Only I've got another job to do. But I reckon old Raymond could tell us a few stories, though, don't you?
Like what?
Well, from what I've heard, he was a right one with the ladies. I mean, you and me, we have to marry you to pay for it, don't we? But not him. He just helped himself.
Does it say anything in the phone book about Poole being a holy Joe?
I don't think so, no.
Wearing rubber gloves. I mean, what is this? Was the woman frightened?
Well, June Ackland said it was hard to tell. She was playing it down.
Well, we can't afford to play it down. We're talking about somebody who is an active sex offender.
Well, he's supposed to have been cured.
So they say.
Well, seeing as the hospital's his only home, maybe he'll wander back there under his own steam.
Is that before he decides to commit another serious offence or afterwards? Have you got anything on the phone number for the electrician?
Yeah, can you hold on, please? Yeah, that's a message service at Leashall Hospital.
I thought it might be.
But there's been a development. We've just had a call from another woman. Sounds like he's been at it again.
No, it sounds stupid, but if I'd known, I would have never have let him into the house.
Mrs. Bolt? I'm DCI Meadows, on LCID.
I should have been suspicious when he first arrived. I mean, wearing those gloves.
Rubber gloves?
Yes.
Did you know this man, Mrs. Bolt?
No, he phoned early this morning saying he'd taken over from the old electrician.
And who was that?
It's just someone my husband used once to wire up a workshop in the garage, but that was months ago. My husband and I have been separated since.
Did you mention this to him on the phone?
I said my husband was no longer living here, yes. But then he asked if I had any jobs that needed dealing with. The washing machine's been playing up, so I asked if he could fix those as well. And he said yes.
Then what? You gave me your address and asked him to call?
Yes.
What time?
I said 11:30, but he didn't get here till around noon. Well, I was just making a snack, so I asked him if he wanted a sandwich or a coffee. And then he said something strange.
And what was that?
He said he didn't eat during the day. He read the Bible instead.
What did this man look like?
Late 30s, dark hair.
What was he wearing?
Overalls. Blue overalls.
Did he fix your washing machine?
No. He said he didn't know how, it was too complicated. So I said to him, well, are you an electrician or what? And he said, oh, I'm a lot of things.
And then what happened?
But then he grabbed me. Touched me, you know. I pushed him away and I shouted at him to get out of the house, and then he looked at me in a funny way, and I thought then that he was going to hurt me. Well, then the dustman arrived, and when he heard them outside, he just left. He was in such a hurry, I forgot to take this.
Sierra Oscar 85 from Sierra Oscar.
Yeah, 85 receiving.
You're still in the vicinity of Whitegate Estate, June?
Yes, Sarge.
Could you take a look at the kids' playground in Bream Road? We've had a report of a man hanging around the place, acting suspiciously.
Yeah, I'm on my way, Sarge.
Belongs to dear old Raymond, part of the toolkit the hospital were kind enough to buy for him. They identified it by the insulating tape on the handle. Now, apparently Raymond tagged all his gear like that.
Must have been a bit of a pleasant surprise for him being sent here, after all those years being locked up.
Yeah, but they didn't exactly let him out immediately. I mean, the consultant reckons it took months of careful supervision and assessment.
Oh, yeah. It's a good system, isn't it? We bang them up with the shrinks, let them go.
Well, the Home Office apparently raised no objections.
What do they know? They just look at the paperwork, they don't look at the face. I mean, a bloke like Pooh, kept away from life's temptations for all those years, must have been like Christmas coming in.
Yeah.
All those group sessions, he'll have come out with the right answers, made out he was responding to treatments. Well, it'll have paid him to do it, wouldn't it?
So you reckon someone like him will always revert back?
In most cases, yeah.
So what was he doing here then? A con job?
Yeah, I reckon, Johnny. I reckon he conned them all.
Sierra Oscar from 85.
Yes, June.
Yeah, I'm by the kids' playground in Bream Road, Sarge. I have sight of a man I believe to be Raymond Poole.
What's he doing?
Well, he's just sitting in the playground.
All right. Keep him under surveillance, but don't go near him, understand?
Right, Sarge.
description of this man given by both women? It's almost there, but it doesn't quite match up.
With Poole's description?
Yeah. I think I'll have another word with Mrs. Bolt.
Where is he?
Top of the stairs, first left.
It's not locked.
Scannell Police. We've reason to believe you are Raymond Patrick Poole.
Is that your name?
Yeah. I was watching her.
Why's that?
I wanted you to find me, didn't I?
Oh, good. I was just about to get in touch with you. The electrician, he phoned me.
When?
Just a couple of minutes ago. He said he's on his way round to pick up the soldering iron.
Right, can I use your phone?
Yes, of course.
Now go upstairs, will you?
Go upstairs?
Please, and stay up there till I tell you to come down.
He said I couldn't go back to Lee's Hall now. I'll be in trouble.
DCI Meadows enters 2:05 p.m.
Well, he said that, did he?
Yeah, he said he'd look after me.
But you don't want to go back. Mr. Poole has just shaken his head. Why not?
Because there's too much to think about, that's why. Too many things to worry about.
What things? What, you mean this so-called electrical work of yours? Why's that? I thought that was meant to be a good thing. I thought that was to help you get your ticket one day. Get you out of institutional care. Isn't that what you want? Get back into society on a full-time basis? Just think of all those business appointments you could make. All those women on their own. And I'm sure you'd get by, Raymond. Because you've got God on your side, haven't you? God helps you, right? You see, we know that because people have told us. How does God help you? Does he tell you what decisions to make?
No.
What, you mean when you do one of your little repair jobs for some woman and you like the look of her, you just attack her there and then, do you?
No.
You make up your own mind, you don't talk to God about it first.
What?
Oh, come on, Raymond, we know you haven't changed. These 2 repair jobs, one at Regis Crescent, one at Oak Road.
I didn't do them.
We know you did them.
How could I? I don't do repair jobs anymore. I sold everything, didn't I?
What do you mean you sold everything?
He bought it off me, didn't he? Bought my tools and my overalls. 15 quid the lot, plus his place to stay in. I said it wasn't enough, so he said he'd throw in 3 ounces of tobacco for something else.
What?
My book of names and telephone numbers.
Telephone numbers of customers?
Yes. I told you it was all too much for me to worry about.
Do you know this man?
Yes. I met him at the hospital. He liked me to tell him about the past.
Your past?
Yeah. He liked hearing about it. Enjoyed listening.
So you're saying he was learning from a professional?
No.
Because you know you've done, don't you, Raymond? For the sake of 3 ounces of tobacco, you put people in danger again. And he didn't even have to take part this time.
Has he been to any of these women? Only I hope not. He promised he wouldn't.
Yeah?
Excuse me, sir, can I have a word? It's important.
This guy's name, what is it?
Oh, yes, the electrician.
That's right.
Barbara said you'd be calling.
Well, never mind then.
Weren't you supposed to collect something? She had to go out, you see, so she asked me to take care of things.
You mean she's left you all on your own?
I'm afraid so, yes.
Well, I suppose you'll do.
A soldering iron, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Where did she put it?
Do you mind if I ask you something?
What?
Are you a practicing Christian?
I don't go to church often enough, if that's what you mean.
Why is that then?
Haven't got the time.
You haven't got time for God? That's a bit of a shame, isn't it? After all, He has time for you. And time for me. You know what it tells us? It tells us to help ourselves. What do you say to that, eh?
Hold it there!
With or without God's help, I'd say you're Nick.
Is Mrs. West about?
Who's asking?
A friend of Mr. Burnside's.
Where's Frank?
Mr. Burnside says he was sorry, he's a bit tied up. DS Danny Pearce.
You better come through. It's this way.
So what's the problem?
Steve, my cellar man, got done over this lunchtime back at the pub.
Did he report it?
He says it's nothing.
But you don't agree?
You don't get beaten up for no reason. Not in broad daylight, not even round here.
Has he told you who did it?
Said he didn't recognise him.
Do you run this place on your own?
I kept it on after my old man died 7 years ago. It hasn't been easy. You know how it is, woman in a man's world. Since Steve came, let's just say it's the two of us now.
How come you asked for Mr. Burnside?
Not exactly good for business, uniforms in the pub. Besides, Frank and I go back. I do him a favour, he does me one. Steve? DS Pearce.
Looks like you took a bit of a pasting. What happened?
I was out the back putting out the rubbish and these fellas just jumped me.
What time was this?
12-ish.
And how many blokes were there?
2. No, 3. Yeah, 3.
Ever seen them before?
No.
If you could give me a description of the assailants.
Wish I could.
Just ages, height, colour.
No.
You must remember something, Steve.
It all happens so fast, love.
Do they take anything?
No.
They just came at you out of the blue?
Yeah.
Upset anyone lately?
How do you mean?
I had to borrow any punters.
Everything's been going like clockwork, especially since Steve's been here.
Yeah, well, it does seem a bit odd, Steve. 3 blokes jumping you like that, and why didn't you report the assault as soon as it happened?
Well, I know how busy you fellas are.
Thanks.
We've just had some information in from FIB. There's been a spate of lorry hijacks in the Kent area. Spirits and cigarettes, mainly. The word has it that the stuff's been flogged through the back doors of pubs and clubs, and the landlords are selling it over the counters to the punters.
Nice little earner. Cut price goods at brewery prices.
Yeah, no paperwork. But apparently some of the stuff's been shifted around Son Hill.
All right, Gov. Leave it with me. I'll see what I can find out.
And this sort of thing's never happened before?
Everybody loves Steve.
Yeah, looks like it.
Listen, Steve enjoys taking care of me. He never wants me to worry.
So even if he was in trouble, he wouldn't tell you?
Could be. But I know Steve well enough to know when something's not right.
Is there anyone else who might have witnessed the attack?
They don't have the most reliable of memories around here. Hang on. Lisa might. She came in early today.
Lisa?
Lisa Brooks. You saw her on your way in. Well, most of them.
Sorry, love. I don't do private viewings.
Yeah, I'm Detective Sergeant Pearce, Sunhill. Can I have a word?
Well, yeah, I know. The glamour, the excitement. You're overwhelmed. So what can I do you for?
Steve Roscoe, the cellar man.
Yeah?
Well, he was assaulted this lunchtime.
Yeah, I heard.
I wondered if you saw anything.
You say I did? Look, I'd help you if I could, but I wasn't around.
Well, the landlady, Mrs. West, seems to think you arrived about the time Mr. Roscoe was assaulted. What time did you arrive this morning?
Not sure. I was early. About 12.
And you used the back entrance?
What else?
See anyone odd hanging about?
They're all odd around here. You should clock some of my punters. Now, please, I ought to put some clothes on.
All right. Thanks for your time.
That's okay. Just count your blessings it's not winter. I can't stand about gabbing then. I get goose pimples you could hang tassels on.
Start with your more friendly landlord, see if they've heard anything.
Nothing more depressing than boozers in an afternoon.
So, how's the delectable Sally?
Sends her love.
That lady can pull my pint any time she likes.
Yeah, well, right now she's pulling her cellar man.
Yeah, so I'd heard.
Name is Steve Roscoe. He got himself worked over. But I think the fumes of the beer must have got to his brain. Can't remember a thing.
You reckon he's lying?
Yeah, and I reckon the delectable Sally does too.
So, is she saying anything about being offered bent gear?
No.
I might pop in and see her later, see how she's going. In the meantime, I'm going to introduce you to the heady delights of the Bluebell Club. You had a tetanus shot lately?
Yeah?
Oh, that's all right then. Jimmy, I want you to meet a colleague of mine, Danny Pearce. Jimmy is Sunnihill's greatest living expert on the pub and club scene. How's he going?
Mustn't grumble.
Well, that's not like you, Jim. The story is there's a firm on the turf who are knocking out stolen fags and spirits.
News to me.
Is that right?
Well, straight up, Mr. Burnside.
This stripper, Lisa the teaser, performing regular, does she?
Every Saturday. What she can do with a feather boa, it'll make a chicken blush.
Really? We'll have to come and have a look. Invite our pals from the environmental health. Make up a party.
You're welcome any time, Mr. Burnside. You know that.
Well, I'll leave you to it. I can see you've got a rush on. But give a thought to what I've said. Anything you hear, you let me know, all right? I reckon the little toe rag's lying.
It's Lisa the teaser. She's the stripper at the Marquis.
What, the one who claims she saw nothing?
Yep.
Let's get back to the Nick. Check her out. This is beginning to get interesting.
Yeah, cheers, Billy.
What did you get?
Well, there's no joy at the orchard, but the landlord of the Green Man has definitely had a pasting.
Did he say who did it to him?
Cracked on it was the wife. The staff reckon 3 men paid him a visit just before opening time.
I've heard an interesting story about the landlord at the Drover.
Oh, yeah.
But apparently he got tanked up at some licensed victuallers do, and he was shouting his mouth off about a nice little deal.
A drover. Has he got a stripper working there?
I don't know. I can find out.
Brooks has got form for nicking fishnet tights when she was 18.
Yeah, well, we definitely know that she works a circuit of watering holes, though.
She's definitely linked to the Marquis and the Bluebell. Crack the teaser and solve the puzzle?
Worth a try.
Yeah?
Does Lisa Brooks live here?
Yeah.
I'm Detective Sergeant Pearce. This is Detective Constable Carver, Sunhill Police. Is your mummy?
Mum! It's the filth.
Ah, it's you.
Yeah. Can we have a word?
You better come in. Only wipe your feet first. I've just hoovered the hall. So what you after?
Actually, probably better if your daughter was...
Happy and I don't have secrets.
It's all right, Mum. I've got homework.
She's a bright kid. Wants to be a lawyer.
Well, does she know what you do for a living?
No, she thinks I'm a plumber. Of course she does.
Who looks after her while you're at work?
Don't try that one. The neighbour across the way.
And Mr. Brooks?
Went back north. Likes his beer with a head on it.
But you prefer the south?
I was left here, on my own, with a baby, when I was 18. Hasn't been much time for travel.
Except round the pubs and the clubs.
How many did you work?
10, 11, excluding the one-offs.
Interesting places, pubs. You get to hear a lot. Scams, fiddles, that sort of thing.
I don't stand still long enough to listen.
Come on. All those tasty deals. You're trying to tell us you've never been tempted?
Just because I work with animals doesn't mean to say I get in trough with them.
This incident at the pub lunchtime, you certain you saw nothing?
Yeah, I told him.
You seen anything strange lately at the Marquis? Unusual deliveries, arguments, dodgy faces?
No.
What about the other places you work in?
No.
You sure?
Why would I lie?
Or maybe we should have a word with the DSS, see what they've got you down as, Lisa Brooks or Lisa the Teaser.
Listen, every punter reckons I'm a pushover. You don't scare me.
Oh, cut the act, love. This is serious.
Oh, yeah? And my life's just one big bundle of laughs, eh? School trips to pay for, rent to find.
Well, if things are that tough, surely no one's going to blame you for indulging in a bit of dodgy business.
No, hang on a minute. Do you think when I was a kid and they said to me, what do you want to be when you grow up? I said a stripper. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm dead proud of my body. But standing up there and having all those blokes go up at me, well, it's not exactly what I'd have chosen.
Yeah. Right. Thanks. Oh, have you got a list of your venues?
Yeah. Didn't think you were a fan.
Well, it might pay to see what I've missed.
Well, if I'm doing the trick with the ice cube, don't sit near the front.
It's been a while, Frank.
My loss, sir. So how's it been going?
Fine, till this lunchtime.
Yeah. I don't suppose your cellar man would argue about that. What's his name? Roscoe?
So what do you think's going on?
The word is there are some faces who are running a scam with dodgy fags, spirits, that sort of thing, punching them around the local pubs. You heard anything?
Not this pub.
How about this Roscoe? Do you think he's heard anything?
He's a good bloke.
Yeah. Well, could be you're not seeing clearly. Like you and Ian.
What's that got to do with it?
You made any changes round here since he arrived?
We decorated.
Business-wise, I mean.
No. Well, not really.
What's that supposed to mean?
Listen, Frank. Steve's a great cellar man.
So?
He can't be on the fiddle. Things are on the up and up.
Will you do me a big favour, Sam? Will you check your books, see if there are any discrepancies?
I trust him, Frank.
Well, then there won't be a problem.
The Green Man. I mean, that was the pub Tosh reckoned the landlord was being leaned on.
Not on our list.
What about the drover? The landlord suddenly came into money.
That's not here either. Bang goes our Lisa the Link theory.
I reckon she knows something.
Well, maybe she doesn't. Maybe she's telling the truth.
And how come she's so defensive?
Goes with the job, I suppose.
They don't add up.
I feel really stupid. I've been taken for a ride, Frank.
How?
He's cut back on the cigarette order.
Well, maybe you're selling less cigarettes.
Round here? No way. Money for fags goes in the tin by the till.
And the money in the tin hasn't gone down.
No.
So, you're selling the same amount of cigarettes but ordering less.
That's about the size of it. Of course, I'd need a bit more time to find out exactly what he's been up to.
He shouldn't be much longer.
Hey, I want a word with you.
In here. Take a seat.
You're poison. You put your foot in it and some other sucker chokes.
Meaning?
Not long after you left, this fella came round. A little bird had told him the filth had been down the Bluebell asking about me. You, right?
What did this fellow want?
Me to keep me gob shut. Oh yeah, and he suggested I go and do me out well north of Watford.
Or?
Or there'd be a lot less of me to strip.
That'd be a shame.
Yeah, that's what I reckoned.
Keep your gob shut about what? Lisa.
Look, if you hadn't gone crashing about in your size 12.
Look, do you want my help or not?
No.
Well, what are you doing here then? Well, if you're going to waste my time.
Yeah, okay. I'm scared. That bloke, he really got to me. Happy now?
Don't be stupid.
I mean, I've got Cathy to think about as well. I've always tried to keep that side separate.
So why did this bloke threaten you?
I saw Steve Roscoe being done over.
At the Marquis this lunchtime?
Yeah.
What exactly did you see?
I was coming in through the pub car park, and this row was going on. Roscoe and 3 other blokes.
What about?
Nobody messes us about. Something like that. Anyway, next thing, one of them had older Steve.
And then what happened?
They had a dance, what do you think? The other 2 beat Steve up.
And where were you?
Too close for comfort. As soon as they realised I clocked it, this gorilla came over and said if I didn't want my face rearranging, I was to keep quiet. Well, like I told him, I've sort of gotten used to it the way it is.
And had you seen any of these blokes before?
Yeah, once or twice.
Where?
Drinking. With that oik Jimmy Butler at the Bluebell.
Why didn't you tell me earlier what you'd seen?
Hey, I'm looking out for number 1.
Withholding evidence.
I take care of me and Cathy. That's top of my list.
Nice kid.
Yeah, I'm lucky.
She'd probably say the same.
Is this a wind-up?
Look, might be a good idea if you kept a low profile for a while. Stay away from the circuit until we get things tidied up.
No, I've got 2 spots at the Marquis tonight, 7 and 9.
Cancel.
I need the money! Besides, I'm probably in for it anyway, we're coming round here.
But if I were you, I would stay home tonight.
I can't afford to! Anyway, you or me, I reckon it's your job to look after me.
I'm not sure that's possible.
Oh, typical. Just like my mum used to say. Never rely on a bloke, Lisa. Especially when it comes to protection.
I'll see what I can do. Okay?
Thanks.
Do you think I'm stupid or something? I was bound to spot it sooner or later. Just serves me right for trusting you.
Sal, what? A witness has come forward, Mr. Roscoe, who saw the attack on you this morning. They reckon you knew your assailants.
That's not true.
And Mrs. West has been having a quick look through the books. You ought to join the magic circle, pal.
We're making a profit.
But how?
Good management.
You used her.
Tell him, Sal. You were struggling before I arrived.
Things would have picked up.
When? Before or after you lost the tenancy?
Can we get back to the point? What happened?
These fellas turned up. Offering fags, spirits.
How many fellas were there?
3.
Seen them before?
No.
What happened to the profits?
Think about it. I paid you and me cash bonuses. Slipped you the odd 50 to get yourself something nice.
Why did you suddenly start handling spirits?
I didn't want the stuff. There's enough markup on legit spirits. Hardly seemed worth the effort.
But you took a few bottles in the end.
They didn't give me much choice. After a while, they started putting pressure on. Take the booze or else. Told me to ask around. A couple of landlords who said no weren't walking too well.
So what happened this morning?
I told them. No more.
And they weren't too happy about it.
That just about sums it up. They said they'd be back early this evening with the goods. And if I didn't have the cash, they'd break my legs.
We're expecting the blaggers outside the back door of the Marquis just before 7. Now, nobody move until Roscoe has given them the hard word. But once he has, move fast. This lot are not polite.
Lisa Brooks will be working the Marquis tonight.
We'll tell her to stay at home.
Yeah, tried. She wasn't having it.
Well, there's nothing more you can do then. As a matter of fact, that might work in our favour, her being there. Bit of extra bait.
They threatened to cut her.
Look, if the silly tart wants to play with her G-string, she's got to expect trouble.
She's not some Tom.
I didn't say she was.
I want to be with her in the pub.
Well, that's very noble of you, Danny.
She could get hurt.
I'll tell you what I'll do. You stay with Brooks. I'll get someone else to sit in the audience. Any volunteers? Alan? Tosh? Come on, don't be shy.
Wiles, Gov.
Well, call me old-fashioned, Tosh. But I think Suzi sitting in the front row might be a bit conspicuous. No funny business, right? Just tell them you're not buying. And no heroics either.
Do you think you'll be all right?
Don't worry about it. One nod from me and the cavalry comes over the hill. Everything all right?
Yeah. Alan and Suzi are parked up the street, the others behind the storeroom.
Woods from Burnside.
Go.
Roscoe says that the suspects drive a blue Ford Transit.
No, thanks, not good.
Okay, I'm decent. You can come in now.
Haven't left a lot to take off.
It's a short sport.
You all right?
Just covering my appendix scar. Here, hold this. I used to work with a snake, but I lost it.
Where?
I never did find out.
Blue van approaching. Looks like our mob.
3 suspects on board, Gov. All IC1s.
Right. This is where we find out what our barman's made of. Definitely doesn't look as though they popped in for a swift half. If Roscoe blows this.
Well, whatever he said, they're not very pleased.
Go, go, go!
How do I look?
Unbelievable.
Oh, thanks. Ooh, forgot my boa.
Allow me.
Oi, no. Come on now.
Danny! Ah, get off, you gorilla!
Come on, please, man. Need any help?
No, thanks. We've got everything under control.
Gov?
You all right?
Yeah, thanks.
Good. Stephen Roscoe, I'm arresting you for handling stolen property. Alan? Go. Come on. I had no choice.
I know that, Frank.
This way, sunshine. Move it.
If I apply to join the police force, will you give me a reference?
Everything all right?
Yes, Gov.
Ah, this must be Lisa the teaser.
Brooks.
All right. Lisa, would you mind coming down the neck and making a statement?
Okay, you'll have to wait. Can't disappoint my punters.
I don't mind hanging on, Gov, and bringing it down later.
I'll bet. One thing, whatever she gets up to with that feather boa, I want to